Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So it is the 1st of February, so it's Stamp Around UK, and our theme is celebration. So celebration is when you get free product for spending with Stampin' Up. So this is dandy paper. Dandy Designs, there we go, Dandy Designs. You get 48 12 by 12 sheets, double-sided, free, with a £90 spend. So you get 12 different designs, and you get 4 of each. So I've took them out here to make it easier. So that's like 4 of our normal packs of DSP, which are like £10.75, I want to say, each. So that's like over £40 worth of stuff free. It's great. So the colours in it are, as you can see, Fresh Freesia. There is also Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody and Petal Pink. So that is one of your Fresh Freesias. It's your Balmy Blue with a bit of Coastal Cabana. Nice little stripey there. That's got a mixture of Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana and Balmy Blue. And then we've got Granny Apple Green on the other side. Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral there. Petal Pink. Petal Pink and Fresh Freesia. Mango Melody, same there, and they're all very bright for me. So I took some of them and I have done a little bit of tea dyeing on them, and these are the results of the tea dyeing that I've done. So I'm gonna sort of create something a little bit more vintage, which is more my style, and I just wanted to show how you could take something that is quite bright and turn it into something not so bright. So yeah, I have done a video before on showing how a tea dye literally makes some really strong tea in an old jar, and with a paintbrush I just paint it on and then leave it to dry. And I leave it to dry on top of my radiator, and you can see in this one sometimes then, and that's how wide my radiator is, I sometimes get a little bit of a stripe, but I quite like that. And you get a little bit of crinkly feeling. I then leave it underneath some heavy books overnight, and then I did finish these off with an iron, although it didn't really make much difference. So I am going to create with these. So now I've shown you them, I'm going to create a prototype, and then I'll show you what I did. So this is what I came up with. I've used the lovely framed florets dies and the matching stamp set to create this, and I've used Go To Greetings for the sentiment there, and the Peaceful Moments for the sentiment there. So equally, that could be a tag, that could be a card, but yeah, that's what I came up with a bit of a sort of a vintage look about it. So yeah, let's get on and make that. So I thought I might go with a different colour. So I do like the stripy, so I think we might go for that. So I did a bit of ripping. So I brought in some grid paper, and I brought in my 12-inch ruler, And so I put it on my grid mat, and I kind of went to about 4 inches. I went just around there at 4 inches. Oh, made a right pig's ear at the bottom of that. Not that it matters. So we've got that, and then I want to rip just a little smidge off this side, so both edges were ripped. I like to rip because it gives you a nice fluffy edge that takes ink really well. So then we'll go to about 5 7/8 ish. Okay, if you were different size paper, you'd probably go to about 5 1/2, and rip that down there, and then rip along there to give me my sort of card blank. So if you look at there, because of all the ripping, that's ended up to be quite a nice size there. And then what I wanted to do was to curl the corners, top and bottom, to have it curling over to make it look a little bit older. You can roll that a little bit more. Once it's curled a little bit, we'll roll over a little bit more. Could use a pencil. Paintbrush might be better because it's slightly smaller. Paintbrush handle to just roll it over a little bit. There we go. And then I wanted to rough the edges a wee tad more, so just using the size of my scissors, and because it's ripped, kind of roughs them up a little bit easier because it's already a bit ripped around the sides. So that's what I wanted. And then I do a bit of inking around the edges. So I'm going to bring in my soft suede and my little sponge dauber. I'll put a new sponge on because the other one was proper flaky. So I'm just going to go around those edges, and then a bit on the top there. And then where you've properly roughed up the edges, it will take quite a bit of ink there. And that's ready. And then I did come in and do the edges of this very vanilla card. This is just half sheet of A4, cutting off, scored in half. I've got a little something on there, but you're not going to see it. So I'm not bothered about that. There we go. So that will go on there nicely. And then I wanted to cut a frame. I think I'm going to go for the other side of this, because that's got the darkness. If the other colour that's got Mango Melody in it, it's got stars on. Well, I suppose I could. I just thought this was better. Well, I've got... Yeah, I'm going to go for that one. So, if I get... Oh, everything falling in on my desk. So, if we... take this and we cut this out, we'll get the inside as well. So it was a buy one you get one free of that, was the center of that, and you get a nice little ridge around it. There's a couple of double lines, which is really nice. If you look on the inside there, you've got these couple of lines, so it does give you a nice frame. So I'm going to cut that out. So that's cut out. So we have frame there, and then we've got this one here that I can use for a tag front. And so all I did for that is I just need to rip another piece for that, which I'll do in the same way. I might just go down this bit here. I went to about 3-ish. Go 3 1/4-ish. So, oh, I just dropped the ruler. Why did you do that? So, I'll take a little bit off here. Of course, you can make it any height you want, but if I'm thinking of using it in a journal, kind of go for 6-ish. Going, yeah. Just above 6, I think. That's what we want. Is that about what I did there? No, I think I actually did do that on 6, but I've got the same width. So that will do nicely. And I did do a little bit of roughing the edges. And then, like before, I'm just going to give it an ink round. And this one, because I want to get the ink in those grooves. And then this one, going on the inside to get a nice frame. So that's like that, ready to go on there. So then I decided that we'd do a bit of decorating. So I've got me dots from Quiet Meadow. So give a bit of dottage around. Like that. And then I used me scraps to stamp the flowers and things. So I'm just going to do the sentiment on this, because that's fairly easy to do. Slightly above the centre. There we go. Seem to have missed the tail of the Y. Don't know quite how that happened. I'm going to use this little bit like that up there, and then I wanted some flowers around there. So for the life of me, I cannot see the flower stamps. I know I haven't put them back, have I? Oh, I did put them back. Do not remember doing that. So I have stamped these flowers in the same DSP and die cut them out. And on this one, I did this big bunch, and I also die cut some of the standalone leaves sort of tucked behind, and I did a bit of watercolouring. I'm not sure that I like the watercolouring after I've done it, so I might not do that again. So let's get a block. There we go. And then we'll get some little ones for this. There we go. So I did 2 of the little ones. And 1 of the big one. So they're ready for that. And then have I got enough room on there? Well, it would stamp, but I don't think there'll be enough room for the die. So I'll do it on here. I'll cut that out. I'm saying at this point what I did was I did do a little bit of watercolouring, but I'm not going to do that. And did stamp Thinking of You, so I can stamp that on here. And then I kind of fussy cut it out. There we go. I've over stamped it, but done that because it's all getting cut out. And then, so I need my dies out. Don't need that ink anymore. But we need that die. We'll cut that out. And then we need these to cut these flowers out. And then I went for the leaves. So I cut, pull them out, Jez, that'd be easier. So I did these little ones. I can probably get one out of there. Yep, that one on there, that one on there, and then this big one. No, can't fit that on there, so I'll cut that out of this. So I'll get all them cut out. So they're all die cut and inked, and I did cut myself a little tag back, and I've left it sort of 3/4 of an inch taller so that I can do the tag top. I did some, I cut some extra leaves. I just thought it would look nice. So this is tea stained white cardstock. So I'm using my favourite punch for this. I think I'll have that on the back and that on the front actually. Got a bit of, oh, got some paper stuck on there. That'll be from the drying process. There we go. So that needs inking round, and I'm collecting these in a little jar because they might come in handy for something. So yeah, and I cut an extra little flower. I've lost one of the little flowers. I spent ages looking for it, and I was like, in the time it's taken me to look for it, I could have stamped and cut another one. So I stamped another one. I got me die cut platform out, and the missing one was actually stuck to the bottom of that. So there we go. So it was like, oh, I've got an extra one, and I thought, oh, I might put it up there, even though I'd stamped a little flower up there. I thought that looked nice. So these are not my usual colours in terms of doing any crafting. Never mind doing vintage and journals, but I quite like them. I think they've worked. So there we go. So now all I need to do is stick them all together. So I might speed up whilst I glue them all down, because I don't want to be really long, and it's really boring watching somebody glue, isn't it? So there they are, all stuck down, and you can see, compare the difference. I do think I prefer it without being coloured in. And then we just added a bit of ribbon. I just used a little bit of retired ribbon for the top, which I thought went quite well. So I've got this ribbon here, and what I did was I just pulled off the coloured trim because it was the wrong colour. So I found it came off fairly easily, and I just pulled off the little bits of thread that was left behind. So just a little bit of time and effort there. You might have other ribbon that will work, but I did like the look of this on it. So anything that was like left on it, I just I don't care that it's a little bit raggy. And matter of fact, I like it because that just adds to the vintage look. And then I just poked it through. Oh, don't do that. That's not the way to do it. I can't believe I did that. Cannot believe I did that. Never mind. I will come in. I'm just going to take the top of that off. Kind of ruined the top a little tad. Oh. That's now looking a tad weird. But we can do it again. Not a massive issue there at all. So when attaching this, don't pull it through with such force, because it is card and it will break, as I just demonstrated. So we're going to be very gentle now. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to change our minds. And we're just going to have it go through like that. And then we'll get some linen thread. There we go. So no mistakes in crafting, just opportunities to innovate. There we go. So that is me taking that really, really bright paper and making it vintage, just showing you can make anything look vintage. So hope you like that. Hope you'll go and check out the links down below and go and see what everybody else has made with celebration items. And We'll be back next month with another Stamp Around UK, and I'll be back probably in a couple of days with another video. See you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.